Only a select few automobiles have the miracle of eternal youth, and Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing is one of them. At the International Motorsports Show in New York in February 1954, the Stuttgart-based company debuted its brand new sports automobile, igniting the flame for the automobile industry icon. This vehicle was so iconic that it was still able to win the 1999 Sports Vehicle of the Century award. At that time, it hadn't lost any of its youthfulness thanks to its flat, beautiful form. Today, we're going to be reviewing the 1954 Mercedes SL 300 Gullwing, the car with doors like wings. Sit tight and buckle up, things are about to get interesting. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL is one of the most memorable coupes of the 1950s. In addition to making it stand out, the Gullwing doors were a brilliant way to hide the car's unique space frame chassis. Almost every respectable collection includes one since it is the most recognizable Mercedes. It signaled the start of Gullwing doors and served as an example for later generations. The letters SL stand for Sport Leicht, which means Sport Light. The Gullwing Coupe was the first genuine sporting vehicle produced by Daimler-Benz. Following World War II, it is known as the W194. It made its debut in 1952 as a lightweight race car designed for the Mille Miglia. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing's body was created with the primary goal of minimizing aerodynamic drag. The end result was an automobile that followed closely to its design brief and had a sleek body with few embellishments. It still maintains this freshness and charm today. It appeared as though the 300 SL stomping forward on its wheels had been carved from a single mold due to its exquisite proportions and exceptional dynamic quality. The new sports automobile attracted a lot of attention, in large part because of its incredibly charming Gullwing doors. They were the centerpiece of the 300 SL design, the pinnacle of the proverb, necessity is the mother of invention, and they did more than just add some extra style. The tubular frame that supported the car's stretched aluminum body rose far higher than usual up its sides for stability, making it difficult to install standard doors. The engineer's solution was to come up with the idea of an upwards opening door. A door handle did not detract from the car's elegant side aspect, and a stealthy pull-out bar disengaged the lock. The telescopic spring then assisted the door in rising. Rudolf Uhlenhaut's tubular frame for the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL gave maximum strength while minimizing height. A structure with exceptional torsional rigidity that only experienced compression and tensile pressures was created by joining a number of incredibly thin tubes into triangular shapes. In the ordinary SL, the frame tipped the scales at only 82 kilos, yet the entire vehicle, including the spare wheels, tools, and gasoline, weighed 1,295 kilograms when it was ready to be driven. The engine hood, trunk lid, and skin panels for the door sills and doors were all made of aluminum, but the majority of the 300 SL's body was built from high-grade steel sheets. The customer had an option of having the entire body constructed with light alloy, which reduced the car's overall weight by 80 kilograms for a relatively little additional cost. Only 29 SL buyers chose this option, and as a result, the cars are now highly sought-after collectibles. For the first time, Mercedes-Benz used fuel injection in a road vehicle. A 40 horsepower gain was seen when compared to the carburetor racing variant. The initial batch of SLs had issues with swing axle configurations and drum brakes. The engine of this vehicle was a technological marvel. Following Maserati's use of Lucas technology to construct gasoline direct injected units for its race cars, Mercedes-Benz made a similar attempt with Bosch, and they were successful. The transmission and suspension systems were from the 300S saloon, and the engine was an incline 6, also from the same vehicle. The direct injected incline 6 engine with a 3.0-liter displacement produced 215 horsepower, which was a significant amount at the time. The 3.9-liter engine in the 1954 Corvette produced 157 horsepower. The engine was tilted to give a low front nose, unlike the 300S. To help with cooling the engine compartment, the two sizable vents were built to keep the air moving outward. dry sump lubrication, direct fuel injection, a tubular space frame chassis, independent suspension, faultless construction, an incredibly comfortable interior, and of course, a stunning and dynamic design that has unquestionably stood the test of time were all features of the 300 SL Coupe. Even though the SL Gullwing, as it was called, only existed for 3 years, it left behind a legacy that led to its inclusion in the Automotive Hall of Fame. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing's interior was as functional as it was beautiful. 3 different check patterns were offered for the standard fabric seat covering, although the majority of buyers chose leather. Silver metallic was the traditional color for the body paint, but red, dark blue, and black were also very popular. Since the 300 SL was a sports car, getting inside was somewhat difficult due to the lack of room. Thankfully, the steering wheel could be lowered, enabling the driver to swing their legs toward the pedals easily. After taking a seat, the driver can admire the ergonomically remarkable and well-designed cockpit. The 300 SL was very much a driver's car since the steering wheel was at the perfect distance for the driver's arms to reach and the driver's feet naturally moved into the pedals. As expected, the speedometer and rev counter were in the middle of a driver's field vision on the exceedingly clean and well-organized instrument panel. When driving, it was evident why the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL was given those particular initials SL, because it was undoubtedly sporty and light. With a 215 horsepower engine and a total body weight of about only 1,300 kilograms, acceleration was impressively quick, especially when the rear axle ratio was chosen properly. Strong pulling force at any speed was guaranteed by an exceptional torque. The car hugged the road smoothly thanks to the direct steering and the suspension. The 300 SL was without a doubt a sports automobile with the highest pedigree. For many buyers, this car was a high-speed touring vehicle that provided precise driving qualities without excessively draining the driver's energy. The space in the trunk was adequate, and it was enhanced by the additional space behind the seats for luggage. Additionally, buyers could order a set of personalized luggage that would maximize their available space. Famous racing drivers and privateers from all over the world were drawn to compete in sports car races and rallies because of the 300 SL's racing heritage. In 1955, the 300 SL made its first appearances in the favored racing competitions of the day. It didn't take long for it to experience success. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing achieved legendary status long before production ceased, in part because of its victory in racing, but primarily because of the fascination of its stunning design. 1,400 units were made between 1954 and 1957, with the majority of those being sold in the U.S. Since then, the vehicle has grown in popularity and value, with some examples selling for more than $1 million. The price of a 1954 example sold by RK Motors Charlotte recently reached a 3-year high of $1.9 million. In its 61 years of existence, this particular car had barely traveled 45,687 miles, or less than 1,000 miles per year. It should be emphasized that this 1954 isn't the most expensive one to sell recently. One was sold for $2.2 million at Barrett-Jackson Collector Car Auction in 2012. The price of the 300 SL in 1954 was 29,000 marks, which is currently equivalent to $121,000 in today's money. In 2015, the car sold for $1.9 million, more than 10 times what it cost to buy it. That is significant and reflects the great value placed on cars like the 300 SL Gullwing. The 300 SL may not be worth its all-time high today, but a car worth $750,000 back then is now worth more than $1 million today. What are your thoughts on this vintage automobile? Let us know down below in the comments section.